Do you know the reason why, in a very short amount of time, a significant portion of the globe, including Europe, has grown dependent on China? In recent years, China has significantly advanced its innovation efforts, reaching a position where the country is benefiting economically as well as politically from these efforts. The Belt and Road Initiative of China is just another illustration of such achievement. The new China Silk Road connecting China and Europe is being heavily utilized for the purpose of transporting Chinese merchandise to European countries. The Belt and Road Initiative is one of the many ambitions China has always had to connect itself to the rest of the globe, and this initiative is the one that is helping to make this aim a reality. In this video, we will discuss how China is becoming a major supplier as a result of the construction of the new Silk Road to Europe by the Chinese. How exactly does China want to grow its business operations in Europe? Let's get started. Germany was the first country to establish a connection between China and Europe. The city of Duisburg in Germany is well known for being home to some of the major inland ports. The city was having trouble transforming its economy into something more sustainable. If you want to be one of the first to learn about the newest global initiatives, subscribe to this channel. Therefore, when China suggested that Duisburg relinquish its port for commerce, China did not allow this chance pass them by. In order to reap the financial benefits of being a major intersection on China's Silk Road, they reached an agreement to do so. Germany was one of the countries that Chinese President Xi visited in 2014. Additionally, he went to Duisburg, where he greeted a freight train that had traveled all the way from China to signify the city's incorporation into China's Silk Roads network, before and after COVID-19. At the Duisburg inland port, there were 30 Chinese trains that ran back and forth each week. Every trip is around 1,100 kilometers in length. Nearly 1/3 of all Chinese exports to Europe are delivered to the city of Duisburg, and from there, they are distributed to another 92 locations across Europe by both sea and land channels. Many of the commodities that are produced in China are sent to Duisburg first before being distributed to other locations in Europe. After becoming a significant component of the China-Europe Silk Road, Duisburg was likely to get numerous benefits, which was only one of the many perks. 2018 was highlighted by a decline in the nation's unemployment rate. 12% was the rate of unemployment in Duisburg. However, it is no longer the case, because to this campaign, a significant number of people have found employment opportunity. Not only did China begin this invention with the purpose of expanding its commerce with Europe, but the country also has many additional drivers. The Belt and Road Initiative was one among those initiatives. The existence of China's infrastructure is well known around the globe. Yet, in order to extend it to Europe, China required a link. Since Duisburg ports already possessed an excellent infrastructure, it was also appealing to importers from China. In recent years, a number of Chinese enterprises have established a wide variety of operations in Duisburg. Since 2014, there has been up to a 50% increase in the number of Chinese companies establishing themselves in Duisburg. According to the president of China, this Silk Road would fundamentally alter China. And by the time it celebrates its 100th birthday in 2049, China will have established itself as one of the most economically and politically powerful countries on the planet. The Chinese government's goal is to have a significant impact on virtually every country in the globe. Because China intended to become a global supplier, it was necessary for it to engage in business with Europe. However, as a result of the war between Russia and Ukraine, it is now more difficult for countries to trust one another. Therefore, Europe is scared, despite the fact that it is allowing China to enter the market. At the same time, China's sole other opponent is located in Europe. And once they are established as providers, they immediately acquire control of the electricity. Therefore, despite all of the commerce, Europe is striving to concentrate as much of its attention as they can on China. Genoa, which is located in Italy, is the next city that will connect Europe and China. Despite having the longest and most ancient coastlines in the Mediterranean, Genoa was in desperate need of modernization due to the bad state of its towns, railroads, and roadways. Therefore, China was encouraged to visit Italy for the purpose of conducting business. In addition, China was confident that it possessed the necessary expertise to bring Italy's roads and railroads up to date. When it comes to commerce, it is glaringly evident that China's Belt and Road Initiative is the icing on the cake. Trains, roads, and ports are already receiving financial support from China. The work has already begun with companies based in China who specialize in building. Before we go any further, we need to know whether or not you're enjoying the video that's playing. If you answered yes, then please hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so that you may see more videos about China's rise to global prominence, power, and influence. Let us go with this immediately. China's goal is to constantly take the initiative. China wants all of its joint ventures with foreign governments to be successful and does not want anything to go wrong. Their employees maintain that there can be no deviation from their policies under any circumstances, while other nations are willing to make concessions. Therefore, China expects all countries in which it intervenes to adhere to the laws and regulations that are in place and to never cut corners in their work. Genoa was able to prevent China from entirely altering the ports, despite the fact that China did make certain modifications to the facility. People certainly have the concern that China would dominate the world, but when they see the employment prospects and economic success that come along with China, they dismiss their anxieties and focus instead on the chances and success. However, the concerns are seldom taken seriously since the administration always has everything under control. As a result, Genoa is attempting to impose certain restrictions on China and lessen its reliance on it. They are preventing China from bringing in their equipment and making any alterations in the port while they are doing this. The supply chain is something that China has complete command over. After being received at the port of Genoa, the items are then put together and sent to the distributor. Therefore, everything is restrained by shackles. Control. Because there is no need for a mediator in this scenario, there will be no delay for the consumer. Liege is the third city on the route between China and Europe. After the cessation of coal mining in Belgium, Alibaba is establishing what will be the largest logistics facility in all of China there. After the steel industry nearly went extinct, this city has had a difficult time getting back on its feet financially. They were forced to take decisive action. In the 2000s, the unemployment rate in Liege rose to more than 20. Hence, the idea of opening their ports to China seemed like a good deal at the time. There are freight airports in Liege that are operational around the clock. The good news is that in addition to having a very high capacity, these airports are also quite convenient. Therefore, they never close their doors to cargo because there are no night flying limitations. Trade between China and Liege has resulted in the creation of a large number of employment in the region. Additionally, the utilization of Liege's airports is beneficial to the city's economy. It is believed that the airport cargo would bring about a positive shift in the city. Therefore, China decided to pick the city since they would both gain from it. But it still puts pressure on Europe. They do not like the idea of becoming dependent on China, but the way in which China routes its trade in these countries makes it impossible for them to stop doing so. In addition to that, China is not the only country to benefit from this situation. The economies of the nations that engage in trade with China are becoming more robust as a result, but the rapid pace at which China has risen to the top of the world trade rankings in just a few short years has established China as a model nation. Do you believe that Europe is becoming more and more dependent on China as a result of the Silk Road? Or do you believe that economic well-being should be the sole concern of politicians? Leave your thoughts in the comment section just below. Do you believe that China and Europe will both come out ahead as a result of this situation? Do you wish to view additional videos that are similar to this one? If you answered yes, then please hit the like button, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel to watch exclusive videos about how rapidly China is developing.